Hi, Kamal. My name's Daphne. Thank you so much for sending your essays for correction. I'd be really interested to know, obviously, well, I suspect you've done IELTS before because you're writing at a really high level, but be great to know what grade you got before and if you're planning to take your exam again soon. So this task you've written is about museums. It's a really interesting question, and you've answered it really well with some nice examples. So here we go. It is true that historical places and museums. Now, the skill I think in your introduction is to try and paraphrase the words in the question. Obviously, you want to show me you've understood the question, which you have, but also to paraphrase, which means you're not using exactly the same words. So, yes, you've turned them round. You've put historical places. But I'm wondering if maybe we can put in some of these words: ancient attractions, monuments, art galleries, interesting museums, just to show the examiner that you've bothered to try and vary the lexis a little bit. So it's true that Bra attract a large number of tourists. However, I wouldn't use this in an essay. I just have a bit of a problem with semicolons and colons because you're using this connecting word anyway, so you don't need that. However, locals show little interest in them. Okay, yes, this essay will suggest that this lack of interest will suggest a lack of interest and the high cost of museum entry, we would say. You need to just make that clear as potential causes of this trend, followed by a submission of possible solutions such as offering free entry and organising art and cultural activities, to motivate inhabitants to visit traditional. Yes, exactly. Yes, that's really nice. You could put even residents. Yeah. I mean, but I really appreciate you're making the effort to try and find another word there. Okay, so nice intro. You show me you understand the question and you're showing me where you're going. So, okay, first and foremost, okay, comma, you could say the most common reason which discourages native people is the high admission fee of museums. Okay, you put reason. You need to have an article first, and I'm suggesting you put in this just to show a bit more language and be a bit more precise. In other words, if people have already visited that place, they will avoid visiting it again and paying for it. Okay, they will avoid visiting it again and paying for it. So after avoid, you've got ing, and this should also be ing. In this context, it's worth mentioning that local authorities or city authorities, council authorities could offer free tickets and discounts on weekends so that low-income and middle-income families could visit. Yes, I really like that. Go could and could, or might visit. That's a lovely idea. For instance, various folk museums in Hong Kong, not the Hong Kong, just Hong Kong as a name of a place, like in London, are free of charge, which, let's join it together with a relative clause, which allows locals to, yes, learn and appreciate their culture, you could say, so that they remain connected to their roots. I love that. It's a very, very good point. Hence, it's evident that museums should not charge or would benefit from not charging them. You're saying should not, but you're offering a solution. So you're saying would benefit from not charging. Okay, just make sure you stay absolutely connected to the question. Okay, which I think is important. Well, obviously is important. Okay, so you're offering a solution. That's a possible solution. Another eminent cause. Ooh, eminent. We talk about eminent scientists, eminent doctors. We don't really talk about eminent causes. So that adjective doesn't, although it's a lovely adjective, doesn't go with that noun. Okay. Another important cause or relevant cause is the boring. Yeah, boring is not academic enough. So unstimulating. Yeah, ambience of historical sites due to The lack of variety in art. Okay, not quite sure what you mean about that, but you might have to explain, maybe saying such as da da da, just to give me a bit of an idea, because obviously I don't know where you are, but certainly in London, I mean, there's loads of there's an enormous variety. So I need to know that you understand what you mean by that. Since locals have a basic knowledge about the history of their country, yeah, there is nothing interesting. Okay, there is no incentive for them to visit these galleries or these institutions, you could say. Okay, use the word incentive. To illustrate this, a science museum in where? In Delhi, maybe? Let's be more precise. Welcomes thousands. Okay, let's start with although. Although a science museum in Delhi welcomes thousands of travellers from other countries, in contrast to the number of from other countries, in contrast, comma, the number of local visitors, visitors you need, is disappointingly low, or persistently low. That would work, okay? Hopefully you will be able to work your way through my corrections and just rewrite this as you feel necessary. We recommend you rewrite because it's just a really good way just to understand what I'm trying to say and just hopefully get some good positive feedback, and this can help you improve. To tackle this issue, traditional museums make a suggestion with could be blended with modern museums to give a new experience to local people. Yeah, nice idea. Therefore, treasure homes. Is this another word for museums? Doesn't work. Well done for trying, but it doesn't really work. These valuable institutions, maybe, or valuable educational resources need to be upgraded from time to time. Yes, to create, yes, absolutely. Really nice paragraph, well argued again. In conclusion, why don't you give me your opinion? I know you don't necessarily need to, but it's quite nice. I don't like this essay discussed past tense. It's a bit strange, doesn't sit very well. In conclusion, I believe that local people avoid, yes, because they are outdated, because they seem outdated, and charge an entry. Careful, charge, not change, an entry fee. Nevertheless, this matter could be dealt with, be careful when you're making suggestions. Go for could, not can. Be dealt with successfully and quickly with the support of governments by ensuring free entry, as well as updating museums frequently. Okay, this is a really nice essay. You have done extremely well. Very impressed. So task achievement. I can't give you a grade. I'm sorry. I'm not allowed to. This is our policy. The reason for this is that you are not writing under exam conditions, and only an IELTS examiner on the day, seeing what you've written on the day, can give you a true grade. So I wouldn't want to mislead you. But looking at task achievement, I think you've answered the task very well, and you've addressed this problem, and you've also talked about possible solutions. So well done there. Coherence, it's easy for me to follow. You signpost it very well. Your connecting words are really good, so I can see where you're going, and you've used a nice range of vocabulary, which helps again the coherence and the cohesion, and you've varied your vocabulary as well, which is really good. Your grammar is most impressive. You've shown me a nice range of grammar. You sound very natural in your use of English, so all in all, I think this is a very nicely done task. Obviously, the task one you've chosen is a process diagram. And again, you've answered this very well. I quite like process diagrams. Sometimes it's a bit hard to know where to start, but this one, at least you know where to start, and it's quite the flow of information is good. So the prescribed flow chart annotates the linear process of product manufacturing, as well as the feedback mechanism to adjust the production process. Good. Okay. Are you telling me what it is? Yes. Okay. That's fantastic. I'm not sure if you wrote this or if this is the title. I'm assuming you wrote that. Okay, otherwise you need to tell me production process of what, which is consumer goods. Overall, the diagram shows 8 stages, which begins with the collection of raw materials and components and terminates with the sale of goods. Okay, fine. So coming down. In the first stage, raw materials and other components are collected and stored together until the production process is planned. You could go here, the production process, which involves product research and design, is completed. Just to incorporate that sentence, which is a bit shorter, into that, but you don't have to, because what you've done is also very clear. After this planning, after this, the planning process you would need there is followed by a series of stages, which includes assembly, inspection, testing, and packaging of the final product sequentially. Okay, all right, that's fine. Yes, it feels like you've rushed over that bit a little bit quickly. I'm not sure what your word count is. Did you check your word count? Coming out, sorry. Well, okay, 179. Okay, you're fine. All right, that's fine. I thought if you were a bit short, you might develop that. Finally, the product becomes ready for the dispatch and reaches the sales department. I would change that around, saying once the product is finally ready for dispatch, or finally, here we go. Finally, the completed product is dispatched and reaches the sales department. Okay, is dispatched and sent to the sales department. I'm trying to put in more passive verbs here. Okay, instead of becomes ready, present tense. So I was saying is completed and dispatched to the Okay, just because the more this is, for me, this is all exercise in use of the passive. So then once completed, maybe you could put in there, or once finished, or something like that, because it's a chance to show off quite a sophisticated grammar here. Throughout the process, feedback, you don't need other, is given, nice passive there, to the various compartments, departments, not compartments. For instance, the production planning unit is informed. Okay, all right, no, because we've got a lot of passives there. The production planning unit informs the storage unit regarding the product. Okay, regarding what to do with the product. At the same time, the market research team regularly provides feedback to the development and packaging team. Good. Lastly, the sales team provides response to both the market research and production planning to ensure you could have. We don't use it very often, but it would be perfect here. That the quality of goods is enhanced. So as to ensure. Oh, sorry, forgive me. Okay. What else can we have? To guarantee better sales, maybe. If you use ensure here, you could have guarantee better sales. I would like to have ensure there. I think make sure isn't quite good enough. Okay, you've done this very well. I'm picking things, but to be honest, you've done this really, really nicely. You seem very confident. You've explained it very clearly, and it is complicated. And I think you've done that really nicely. So, depending on when your exam is, if you want to get involved in the online course, do, because it's brilliant, and there's essay corrections and lots of access to stuff online, little videos and things which you might enjoy. Otherwise, thank you so much and really well done.